we're now, for years, environmentalists and scientists had been talking about the importance of cutting global warming pollution to address the rising tide of the seas and climate change. Now, at last, many others have joined in their voices to the debate. Farmers are recognizing that precipitation patterns are changing. They're seeing floods, they're seeing droughts. Cities, as you've heard, are seeing the impacts of climate change. Businesses are seeing the impacts of climate change. Insurance companies paying out higher premiums, and businesses facing changed weather patterns all around. In fact, indeed, with Florida, with and Miami, with sea level rise, with infectious disease spreads, with increased hurricanes, this area may be close to ground zero on the impacts of climate change. So finally, at last, many, many people are talking about climate change because they're seeing the impacts. And in the very same way, many people, all of us, have to be involved in the solutions for climate change. We clearly can get to the solutions for climate change, but to do so, we have to do a lot of work. And what we were just talking about, let me see, I have this. Let's see if I can, how I can do this. If you think of a graph of time and the carbon emissions, our emissions have been going up and up and up over the last years. In order to stabilize the climate, our emissions have to drop significantly, particularly in the United States, but also around the world. That seems like a daunting task to try to, how are we going to reduce that amount of carbon emissions? To make it more manageable, we often think of dividing this big triangle into little triangles, or what we call wedges. Each one of those wedges represents a different technology we can and we must use to address climate change. Some of those wedges are, for example, efficiency in appliances. A refrigerator today uses 1/3 the energy, 2/3 less the energy of an old refrigerator. Appliance efficiencies can reduce electricity rates significantly. Another wedge, building efficiencies. Buildings using more efficient insulation and windows and doors, heating and cooling systems can use a fraction of the energy of an older building. Yet another wedge would be automobile efficiency. Another wedge would be using clean fuels such as ethanol to power the automobiles, mass transit. Another couple wedges could be clean energy, renewable energy such as wind or solar that has no carbon footprint. The point is, if you look at this graph of these wedges, it is not a question of which technology we're going to use. It's a question of whether we have the will to use all of them. It may be that there are a few corners a few particular new technologies that won't come online for a few years, but really to get to the massive reductions that we need to be taking cuts in all areas. And that's why we need every sector of society to be working together. Not only do we need to take many different approaches, we have to take these on a scale heretofore unimagined. We're not talking about 100 windmills, we're talking 100,000 windmills. We're not talking a few Priuses driven around by celebrities. We're talking about every car driven in any country of the world getting 2 or 3 times the gas mileage it gets now. The scale at which we need to act is impossible to achieve, but it is massive. It is at a level, as I said, we have never before faced. We can get there, but we need every sector of society to work together. Thank you.